Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video of us. It's been a long time since we uploaded a video on this channel, but it's time here. We are in beautiful Costa Rica now. It's 30 degrees outside and so beautiful. But enough of the talking, let's jump into the video. We're gonna show you a quick routine you can do if you are busy working at your desk for a long time during your day. This is the routine you can do when you think you have very little time for mobility training but still want to work on it. Have fun with it. So guys, this little mobility routine is built up in a circuit fashion. We're showing you 4 exercises which you can do all after each other and then take a big set break of 3 minutes and then repeat it as often as you want. So we're going to cover extension and flexion and some rotational stuff for the hip. So we're going to mainly focus on the hip area. So for equipment, that's the beauty of this small routine. We don't need anything at all. 2 yoga blocks would be good, of course, and great, especially to give you more options of regressions and progressions for the exercises involved in that routine, but it's not necessary, but it's good. Okay, so let's jump into the first exercise. We're going to cover hip external rotation. I'm going to show you a kinetic stretch for hip external rotation. Remember, it's a circuit training, so we're going to show you 6 deep kinetic stretches on each side. So right, then the left, and then you're going to perform the next exercise. So for the setup, we're going in this, or we find ourselves in this 90-90 position. And for this kinetic stretch, we actually try to engage our inner stuff, our adductors, and trying to think of lifting the foot off, away from the ground, trying to get more external rotation of the hip, engaging that stuff. And then with that engaged in the tall chest, we're going to take a deep breath and then we're going to pull ourselves deeper into the stretch. As we go out, I try to push my foot or my whole leg into the ground, pushing me out of the stretch. Okay, that's very important. So pulling me in first and then pushing that whole leg into the ground and pulling me out and pushing me out of the stretch, okay? 6 clean and solid repetitions. Let's go. Let's do it together. 1. And push. 2. Engage the rails tissue. And push into the ground. 3. 3 more. And the last one. Beautiful. If you have troubles with these exercises or feel uncomfortable, as I said, it's good to have a yoga block so you can elevate yourself trying to perform that kinetic stretch. Or even if you don't feel anything in your glute area, then you can elevate your front foot right on a yoga block to increase the external rotation of the hip and to then maybe feel a deeper sensation right in your gluteal area and your hamstrings, okay? So perform this 6 times on your left front leg and then switch to the other 90-90 to the other side and perform again the 6 reps here, okay? If you finish that, we're gonna jump straight into the second exercise, no break after that. This is gonna be a long lunge pulses for hip extension. Hip extension is very important, especially if you think about sitting a lot. So people who sits a lot throughout the day really are restricted in hip extension because they don't ever extend their hips or very little throughout the day. So it's very good to open up that side of the hip and also to strengthen them. So not only to stretch, passively stretch, but also to strengthen them. So this exercise is definitely going to open it up, but also strengthen it. So for the long lunge pulses, we're gonna find ourselves in a fairly wide front split position. We are on our heels and the front foot. You can have a slight bend in your knee. And for the rear leg, we're standing on our toes here, and we're trying to focusing on really staying there, and the heel is either completely straight or turned out a little, so the heel is not collapsing, so we don't fall into that external rotation of the hip. Okay, we want a square hip, so therefore the position of the heel is quite important. So from here, I'm trying to think of staying low with my pelvis and only pushing my heel back and my knee up, and I want to think about straighten the knee. So from here, I stay low, push my heel back and try to straighten my knee as much as I can. Hold it for 3 seconds and then down. Up, straighten my leg, hold it, and down. As you see, I'm holding myself just to stabilize myself a little bit better. I'm not putting weight or much weight on the blocks. Straighten it, hold it, and down. Again, push it, straighten it, hold it, and down. I'm going to do that again for 6 repetitions and hold each repetition for 3 seconds. Really feel that hip flexors stretching more when you try to straighten your knee as you push your heel back and have this strong position. Of course, you will also feel it in your hamstrings for the front leg if you're not as flexible in your hamstrings. So that's a good plus you have with this exercise. So 6 reps on the right, 6 reps on the left, and we're gonna jump into the next exercise, which is gonna be internal rotation of the hip.
Next up, we're going to target hip internal rotation, and we're going to go into our deepest stretch possible for internal rotation, and then we'll apply some isometrics after that stretch. So if you're comfortable, get into a 90-90 position. If the 90-90 is too uncomfortable for you, just decrease the angle of the front leg. That will already do a lot. If it's still uncomfortable, decrease the angle of the rear leg slightly, or sit elevated on a yoga block. Okay, or a book or whatever you have at home. So to find the stretch, we're going to start facing forward, and then imagine just sinking that rear leg or the rear glute down into the ground. Boom. And then maybe you already feel a slight sensation in the hip. If you don't, and you can go further, lean back even more. And then you can even rotate, make sure you're still in that 90-degree angle here. You can even rotate into that rear leg. So from here, once you've found the deepest stretch and can't go any further, you want to stay here for roughly 30 seconds. And then we're going to apply the pails and rails, so the isometric contractions. So first you're going to ramp up, deep breath in, build up some tension through the core, the entire body, and then slowly start pushing the leg down into the ground. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Safest maximum effort, push down. And then immediately start ramping up the rails contraction, 50, 60, 70, and try to push your leg or your foot into your hand. So imagine my hand is like, I don't know, 20 kilo weight plate, and you just want to push that away. So you want to get that foot to lift off, push it up, engage all the tissue right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Repeat again for another 30-second stretch, another pails and rails, and then go over to the other side. Now we're going to target our hip flexors. So straight leg hip flexion, we're going to do some passive range holds. So these can be really hard, so you have 2 options. If you know your hip flexors are really weak, like you don't have a lot of strength, then you're going to do it lying on the ground. So like this, okay? If you know you have a decent strength or it is okay, you can try to do it seated. So you want to go as close to the wall as possible. Then you're going to take one leg, bring it up as high as you can, engage the hip flexors, engage the quad, slowly let go of the foot, the leg, and hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Control the eccentric. Repeat for 4 times for the 5-second holds. And then once you get stronger, you can increase the time under tension for each rep, and then just decrease the sets or the reps basically. So you, instead of doing like 4 to 5 repetitions of 5-second holds, you can then do like 3 repetitions of 10-second holds. So you just try to increase the time under tension for each rep as you get stronger. So the same applies when you're lying on the ground. You try to pull it down as much as you can. If you can't reach your leg, use a towel, pull it with the towel, engage the core, everything's active, hip flexors is strong, slowly let go and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the goal is that when you have that, have a towel underneath, you don't want to hit the towel, so you want to keep the hip flexors or the leg in one place so you're not lowering down over time. It's easier when you do it on the ground because you don't have to work against gravity, versus here you're not only working at your end range of motion, you also have to work against gravity because your leg wants to go down. If you enjoyed this video, then leave us a thumbs up, maybe even leave us a comment in the comment section below. And if you want to get in touch with us, then just click the button below to get over to our website. You can even schedule a free call with us. So maybe we'll hear each other soon. And until next time.